What's up, guys? So, I've got a bit of a collection update. And this is probably going to be, not real sure what the title of this is going to be yet. It's probably going to be like a mid-March or end of March collection update. As I stated in the last video, I mentioned that I was going to be possibly doing a one-off video for a package that I got from Ancient Dead. I've gotten a bunch of shit in recently along with that, so I just decided to combine that with everything else that I've gotten recently. For me, time-wise, it's just easier to do it like that, just fucking do it all in one video. And along with that, I also received a package from somebody who follows my channel. He's sent me stuff before. Very nice guy. His name is Brandon. So we are going to be showing, talking about what he sent me as well. But yeah, so let's just go ahead and get started. All right, so I'm gonna talk about the Ancient Dead stuff first. So let's get on with that. So this is the first thing we have here. This is Kruna. I think that's how you pronounce it. Not real sure. This is their latest full length, For Thine is the Kingdom of the Flesh. And this is a black metal project out of Australia. Pretty solid stuff. I think if I had to give this a rating out of 10, I'd probably give it like I'd probably give it like an 8 out of 10. It was pretty good. So there's that. And of course, I'll have a link for this in the description so you guys can go check it out. So there's that. That's Kruna. I might be butchering that name, but I don't know, because it's spelled Krvna. So usually when it's like that, it's usually pronounced Kruna, and then they just add the V instead of the U. But like I said, I could be wrong. I don't know. So there's that. And the next CD we have is Terrestrial Hospice with Caviar to the General. So this is a Polish black metal project. I think it's a couple of guys, but then I could be wrong there. One of the guys that's in the project is one of the members from Thunderbolt. And this is either first full length or second full length. I don't remember off the top of my head. I'm sure if you guys follow Ancient Dead on like Instagram or whatever, you've probably seen them sharing a lot about this album. So I'm sure most of you have to have at least like heard of it at this point. So again, another solid album. Very solid. Definitely could have been better, in my opinion. I think I would give this a 7 out of 10 probably. 7.5 on a good day. But yeah. So that's Terrestrial Hospice with Caviar to the General. And I will, of course, have a link for that in the description as well. So as far as Ancient Dead releases, that's all that they sent me, but they also sent me a couple of Burzum records, which these aren't Ancient Dead releases, but these came out not too terribly long ago. So this is the Burzum and Uruk-hai split. So for those of you that don't know, Uruk-hai, I guess, was another Varg side project. I think that was either pre-Burzum or that the name would eventually change into Burzum. There's a bunch of liner notes in here. I haven't really had the time to actually fucking go in here and look at it and read them, but I'm sure it probably explains in there. And then it's just black vinyl, so I'm not really going to pull that out. So this, for the most part, everything on here is pretty much instrumental. Interesting. Sorry, I was just skimming through it. But yeah. So yeah, very, very interesting stuff. Definitely recommended for Burzum fans. It's just kind of cool to hear, like, you know, how the project got started and, you know, stuff like that. So yeah, that's the Burzum Yorukai unreleased material, 1988 through 1994. Go over here. Alright, and the next one, this is Baldur's Dod. So this has the Dowdy Boulders, Baldur's, I don't know how the fuck you pronounce that. And, fuck, forgot what else is on here. Sure it says in here. I think the rest is just unreleased tracks. Yeah, so it's got that album plus 3 unreleased tracks. And then just black vinyl, so nothing really special to show in there. I like Burzum's ambient dungeon synth stuff, whatever. I think it's pretty good. You know, it's how do I say this? It's not like, I don't know, it's one of those things where, like, back then it just seemed a lot more, you know, genuine, and just nowadays all that kind of stuff is just not good. So, as far as ambient stuff is concerned, Burzum is pretty much all I would listen to when it comes to ambient. I'm sure some of you would say that that's very basic bitch of me, but, you know. So, yep, that's Baldur's Dod. And I don't think I've already said it, but thank you again to Ancient Dead for sending me that stuff. I really appreciate it. So, get those out of the way. Alright, next up we're going to move on to the package of stuff that I got from Brandon. And he also sent me a little letter with all that stuff too. Just kind of talking about just a little bit about each project. So I have that on hand just in case I forget any details, because as we all know, that does happen, but you know, it's definitely going to happen when you show as much shit in a video as I do. Okay, so I'm going to go in order of how he's got it on his sheet here. So we're going to start with the tapes, and this is Felgrim with Empires of the Night. So this is another one of the Sears projects, which this is one that I had not heard prior to receiving this tape. And this is put out through Atrocity Altar. And this is just a very short release. I think it's just an EP. Yeah, it's just an EP. Couldn't remember if it was an EP or a demo. But yeah, solid material. I mean, it's definitely not one of the Sears better projects in my opinion, but it's, you know, it's relatively solid. So it's definitely worth a listen if you're a fan of the Seer and you haven't heard it yet. So that's Felgrim with Empires of the Night. And again, I'll have links for all this shit in the description just in case. All right, next one. So this one, I actually had heard prior to receiving this, or I hadn't heard the whole thing, but I listened to a little bit of it, I think, on YouTube, and it was decent. And of course, I've seen a lot of people talk about this since it came out. This is Off Norden with From the Sword, the Sun Rose. And this is a side project from the guy from Ifernac. Very glossy, silvery tape there. So this is very kind of like, I don't even know how to describe this. Like, it's like I feel like there's a lot of absurd influence on this. Like, but it's like a happier kind of like, okay, I got it. This, you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of if Absurd and like Total Vernick Tongue had a kid. I feel like this is the band you would probably get. Because that's kind of what it reminded me of. So that's like the best way I can describe this. But yeah, very solid EP. Because yeah, this is just an EP. Yeah, check it out. Link will be in the description. That's Off Norden with From the Sword, the Sun Rose. All right, next up, we're gonna go to the CDs. And this is a Norwegian black metal band that I had not heard before. This is, I believe you pronounce it, Havmod? Havmod? Not real sure. And I don't even know how to pronounce the name of the fucking album. Dodes Format, you know what, just forget I even fucking tried. So anyways, pretty solid Norwegian black metal. A lot of great riffs on this album. And in the letter he wrote, he goes, black metal you probably never heard before. I'm like, yeah, definitely. Definitely never heard of this project. And I have to admit that it was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. Because newer Norwegian black metal bands these days are so fucking hit or miss. So, great album. That's Havmod. And I'll have a link for that down below as well. Alright, next up, the last CD. This is a... Fuck, I actually don't know where this project is from. I forgot to look that up. And it doesn't say on here. But whatever. This is Calderum with... Mystical Fortress of Iberian Lands. So this is kind of a raw black metal slash dungeon synth project put out on Death Prayer Records. And this is a project that I listened to a little bit of it when like it first came out, because like the promotion and stuff was going around for it, so it's one of those things where you see it and you're like, oh hey, you know, that looks like it might be decent. So I listened to it, a little bit of it. Got that. So yeah, fairly decent album. I would say probably out of everything that he sent me in this package, in the package, this is probably my least favorite thing. Just, it's not that it was bad, it just didn't do a whole lot for me. But who knows? Some of you guys might like this, so definitely, don't let what I say deter you from checking it out. Just go listen to it for yourself. The dungeon synth material on this, though, I have to say was pretty good. So I will give it that. So yeah, that's Calderum with Mystical Fortress of Iberian Lands. Alright, so that's it for the CDs. And then... Alright. Gonna move on to the records. Actually, to make this easier, we'll get this shit out of the way. That way I got some room up here. Put that over here. Alright, so this is the first record. This is Horna with Dragged to a Lunar Grave, put out through Signal Rex. So I believe this project is from Spain? Yeah, I know one of the guys in this band is in that one project, Vampiric Winter, and the other guy, I think, was in kind of a semi-well-known project. I could be wrong, though, but I can't remember off the top of my head. This album is very good. I know I sounded a bit unsure there, but no, I thought this was a very good album. Really, really good, memorable riffs. Got an insert there, and it's just black vinyl. But yeah, I highly recommended this one. This was probably one of my favorite things in that package. So yeah, go check out Horna, Dragged to a Lunar Grave. And the next one is... Yes. Next one is another project from the Seer. This is Howling Night Winds with Demo 1 and 2. I don't even know how to pronounce the label that this was released on, so I'm not even going to bother. Comes with an insert. So this is essentially just raw black metal. I kind of had mixed feelings about this one. Side A on here didn't do a whole lot for me, but Side B I did think was much better. Which I'm assuming Side B was probably Demo 2. But yeah, just another project to check out if you're a fan of the Seer. Raw black metal. Howling Night Winds, Demo 1 and 2. Alright, this was another one of my favorite things in that package. I still cannot pronounce the name of this band for the life of me. Shit, I don't know. So this is Gnippahallen, I don't know, it's that one project from the Beketh Nexamu guy that starts with a G. So yeah, this is a double LP comp, I believe, of like demos and like, can't remember what else. Yeah, compilation of EPs, 7 inches, and unreleased material. Yeah, this stuff is really good. And this is put out through Purity Through Fire. Which, I do have the first album of this band. I still need to listen to the newest album that came out, because I don't think I've listened to it yet. And I believe it is just black vinyl. Yes. Yeah, really enjoyed this comp. Lots of good stuff on here. Show that again. I don't remember if I did or not. So yeah, there's that. Good Nippahallen. I don't speak Swedish. Alright, so that is all the stuff from Brandon. And again, thank you, Brandon, very much for sending me that. I really appreciate it. You guys are way too fucking kind. Alright, now we will move on to the rest of the update. So we still got a lot more things to get through here. Alright, so I got one tape here. This is already an album that I've talked about a couple of times before. And I just picked up the tape release. So now I've got all that I need. This is Profanum with Flowers of Our Black Misanthropy. 90s Polish black metal. Tape press through Astral Wings Records. And one of my favorite Polish black metal albums. It's got like nice hints of doom in it, but it's not like over the top. It still keeps it very much black metal. So there's that. The next up, we have another one that kind of rounds out my format collection. And an album that just is, I've said it before and I'll say it again, other people have said it, just one of the best fucking black metal albums ever. We have Aryan Art with Harmony, Eternity, Universe. Yeah, this album is just fucking perfect. If you needed I couldn't give you a better definition of a perfect album. Lyrics inside there. It says on Discogs that these are supposed to be numbered. Mine's not, so I don't know. I feel like it's one of those things where they press a certain amount and then they end up pressing more down the road and then they just end up not numbering them. I don't know. It's weird. Because yeah, when it was originally purchased, it was supposed to be, I think it said it was supposed to be dedicated, like you had your name on here, and then it gave you, it said your copy number on here. Mine has neither, so I think it was definitely one of those kind of situations where it was just kind of pressed after the fact. But yeah, very happy to have this in the collection. It's not one that pops up for sale very often. Next up, we have Gehenna with First Spell. First press on Head Not Found. Very basic release. Got lyrics in there. You guys should all know this. I mean, early Gehenna is essential. Alright, and the last CD, we have Crystal Knot with The Funeral Years, 1994 to 1998. So yeah, so essentially a compilation of the funeral material, including a cover of Lost Wisdom, Burzum. And then this CD was limited to 500 copies, numbered. I got number 372. There's that. I believe. Just kind of tells you what in there what each track came, which release each track came from. Yeah, another CD I'm very happy to fucking own. It's not easy to find. So that does it for the CDs and tapes. And now we're going to move on to the records. First one, and this is a project that I showed a lot of their stuff in my last video. This is Acherontis with Amarta. Put out through World Terror Committee. Comes with a fucking giant ass booklet. Got just black vinyl there. And then it comes with a poster of the album art. Proper poster. This is how posters should be done. Sometimes I get these releases and you just, fuck, what was a good example? That fucking Absurd and Vothana split. That was just, God, like, you really gotta wonder what people are thinking of. What these people think of when they do shit like that. So that's Acherontis with Amarta. Next up, we got some Finnish black metal. This is Crimson Evenfall with Nocturnal Storms of Infinity and Winterheart. So, all the Crimson Evenfall stuff was reissued earlier by Werewolf Records on CD, and I did show that in an update a while back. And then now, just recently, all that has been put on vinyl. And then, as most of you probably already know, this band would later go on to change their name to Musta Surma. Why they did that, I have no fucking clue. So you got an insert with the lyrics, and then I just got black vinyl. There was colored vinyl, but I just went for black vinyl. I didn't care. You know what would be really fucking sick? It's like Steelfest is doing, like, has just been bringing back all these, like, older Finnish bands from the grave. Two of them that are playing this year being Pest and Vornat. This is one that would be fucking killer if they came back and played live. So, I hope all of you enjoy those sets at Steelfest this year. I fucking wish I could go, but I can't. So yeah, if Steelfest promoters are watching this, tell the guys in Musta Surma to bring back Crimson Evenfall and play some live shows. That would be awesome. Alright, anyways, this is the, so they split up the Crimson Evenfall material on two different vinyl releases. So this is the other one. I'm not even going to try to pronounce the name of that. I could probably do it. Ad Infernos Ante Christum Natum. Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. There is kind of like a picture on the cover there, but it's very hard to see. But it's glossy as fuck. So it's basically like the other one. Comes with a lyric insert, but you got a picture of the band on that side. Lyrics on that side, and then just black vinyl. So yeah, if you haven't checked out Crimson Evenfall for some reason, definitely go fix that. It's great early Finnish black metal. Alright, next up, we just pretty much talked about this earlier, so I'm really just going to show the I'm really just going to show the release and not really say much else. We have Funeral with Black Flame of Unholy Hate. Reissue through IG Farben. I think New Era was like a whatever on this release, but their name, yeah, they were, the label, their name's on the label. It's just, but for some reason it's not on the actual cover. I wonder why. But anyways, so you got a gatefold here with a bunch of pictures, early pictures from the band. You got some liner notes over here. So it's a very, very nice, just overall packaging and, you know, reissue in general. And then just black vinyl. When this originally came out and it was available everywhere, I originally passed on this because I had the tape. And then, like, later on, I was like, damn it, I really should have just bought the fucking record, too. But then, luckily, somebody on eBay was selling this for super fucking cheap, so I just grabbed it. Just recently, I can't remember the name of the label. They did, like, a picture disc release of this one and one of the Signer Volin releases. I can't remember. It was like just recently because Hell's Headbangers had gotten copies, but I think they sold out like really fast. But yeah. Funeral, Black Flame of Unholy Hate. Excellent early raw French black metal. Alright, next up, we got a little bit of death metal. I'm sure this is one that's just like, if I ever put a label on and say something is God tier, it's got to be special because I don't use that term very often. But this is fucking God tier, even though it's Argus Lent worship. In a lot of ways, this is better than Argus Lent. This is a Grenadier with Trumpets Blare and Blazing Glory. This is the vinyl release through Drakkar. Comes with a lyric insert, and then I just got black vinyl. I've probably listened to this album at least 100 times at this point. And this is like, especially when I'm at the gym, this is like my fucking #1 go-to album. I think this one and Hornets of the Pilgrim, I think, are like my top 2 go-to albums when I'm at the gym. Yeah, if you have not heard this, for the love of God, change that. This album fucking rules. Alright, next up, we're going to go back to Finland for a classic Finnish band. This is Horna, and I'm not going to pronounce the name of the title because I don't speak Finnish. But anyways, this is the first full-length featuring Corvus on vocals. And this is just a recent reissue through Blutteneisen. Gatefold there. Not real sure what's going on in that top pick, but it's a little disturbing. There's that. Just black vinyl, so I'm not really going to pull those guys out. I've said it before and I'll say it again. The Corvus era is the fucking best era of Horna. I will fight anybody who tries to argue with me on that. The Corvus era is the fucking best. A lot of people try to say that the Werewolf era is the best, but the only reason why they're saying that is because it's Werewolf. No, the Corvus era is the fucking best. Fucking hands down. And I've heard multiple people say that this is their favorite Horna album. And goddamn, just some of the riffs on this are just insane. Just highly, highly catchy, highly memorable. This is just a fantastic album overall. And I don't know why it took me so long to get it on vinyl, but I'm glad I finally have it. So, Excellent, excellent Horna album. Alright, next up we're going to take a break from black metal and just extreme metal in general. I'm going to show a Motley Crue record that I just got recently. So this is a unofficial release of Generation Swine. Probably the most hated Motley Crue album, but I've always loved this album. Not just because, you know, I'm biased because it's Motley Crue, but I just thought that this album has a lot of... There's definitely certain moments on this album that just really grab me. It's not a perfect album. It's definitely got its duds, but overall, I still think this has always been a very, very solid album, despite what people think. So this is like I said, it's an unofficial boot because the band refuses to reissue anything other than the classic albums, and then Saints of Los Angeles. Bootleg, and it also has like a bunch of bonus tracks and stuff on it. It's just an overall very like decent quality reissue. And you got some liner notes in here from John Corabi about like how the album came about and just like the process. I mean, although John Corabi wasn't at the forefront of this album, he did have a lot of hand in this album, despite not really getting much credit for it. So, LP1 is on red vinyl, and then LP2 is on white vinyl. So, I'm just happy to finally have this album on vinyl. I still need New Tattoo on vinyl. That's the only Motley Crue album I don't have on vinyl, but again, that's another one that the band just refuses to reissue. And I'm sure the reason behind that is just because they probably just... It's one of those things where like they just like to pretend those albums don't exist. They probably feel like if they don't reissue them, or if they do reissue them, they're not going to sell as well. Which they'd be surprised how many people love like the post-classic era albums. So I haven't had a chance to spin this yet because I literally just got this yesterday. I picked it up at a local record store. So I'm not really sure what the sound quality's like. I'm sure it's decent for a bootleg. But whatever. I'm just happy to have this. Alright. So there's that, and now we'll get back to the stuff that you guys really care about. Gonna go back to some more Finnish black metal. This is the Natfog and Necrochrist SS split, put out through Primitive Reaction. So you got the insert here with the Necrochrist SS side and the Natfog side. Man, talk about just two severely underrated Finnish bands. It's got black vinyl there. Yeah, it's a damn shame how underrated both of these bands are. So the Natfog side on this split was actually re-recorded and put on a compilation that Purity Through Fire put out a couple years back, which I do have that, but I really wanted this split. Now this split, I don't believe has been reissued since, but if you can get your hands on it, it's so fucking worth it. This is a great split. So check that out. That's Natfog and Necrochrist SS. Alright, next up we're going to move to the US, to the king of raw black metal. This is Sanguine Relic. So just recently, A few of the early Sanguine Relic releases have just been reissued on vinyl for the first time, and it was definitely long overdue. And they were all put out through Satanic Requiem and distributed through Black Omen, which is also Final Agony. Now, I believe Final or Black Omen still only ships within the US. I think they do, unless they've changed, and I don't know of any European distro that has copies of these, so it may not be available yet to people overseas. I'm not real sure, but then again, I could be wrong. They could be shipping overseas now. I don't know. But anyways, these are very basic reissues. There's no inserts or anything. They're really basic. So yeah, that is the first Sanguine Relic album. And then the next one we have is Blood on Altars in Remembrance. And this is this is either an EP or a demo that came out after the first album. And again, no insert or anything, just very basic. Kind of reminds you of the constant Moonblood reissues from Iron Bonehead that I've been showing. It's just like literally all of these reissues look exactly the same. It's just the album covers are slightly different. And then the third one we have is Vampire Weeps and Secrecy of the Night. Which, I still think this is probably my favorite Sanguine Relic album. I think this one and probably Bitter Reflections, it's probably a tie. But, yeah. Excellent stuff. Alright, and to finish off this video, we got some more finished black metal. This is a 2022 release, and probably just in general one of my favorite black metal albums to come out last year that I've heard. This is Emir with Aeons of Sorrow, the second Emir full length. I'm also super fucking mad that I will be missing this band this year. It's definitely one of the bands I'm really bummed that I don't get to fucking see. But anyways, nice insert here. Lyrics. Really nice picture on that side. I'm sure somebody will comment and be like, stop crying that you can't go to Steelfest, blah, blah, blah. Very nice color variant on this one. This is one of those variants where I was like, I fucking have to get this one because it's a perfect match for the album cover, and I just love the color. Yeah, this album's fucking fantastic. I've listened to this album a fucking decent number of times. Really good. It's definitely... The first album was really good. This one, they took like 10 giant steps forward and just really killed it with the songwriting. So yeah, definitely give this one a listen if you haven't. One of the best from last year, in my opinion. This is Emir with Aeons of Sorrow. Alright, and that's it for this video. So, hope you guys enjoyed it. This will probably be uploaded probably sometime mid-March, end of March, we'll see. Obviously, when you see this, it'll already be uploaded, so me saying that was just completely fucking pointless. Thanks again to Ancient Dead and Brandon for the quote-unquote care packages. I really appreciate it. And yeah, that's all I got. Thanks again, guys, for watching, and I will see you in the next video.